Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the live lower speeds class. I don't see anybody in yet, so we'll go ahead and get started. I will go ahead and mute everyone and then unmute at the end of class and answer any questions if anyone comes in during the live class. All right, we'll go ahead and get started with some common words. Ready? Ever, truly, bad, while, reply, able, might, care, appreciate, anything, went, call, money, yesterday, hand, making, month, still, look, done, friend, expect, even, pleased, case, writing, keep, thought, nothing, favor, regarding, both, something, getting, necessary, given, balance, line, answer, department, name, girl, enclosing, bed, therefore, mail, fact, instructions, heart, news, October, study, learn. Good morning. Let's see here. How are you?
Morning. Well, that was really weird because I logged on before, like, right at 9 o'clock, and it said waiting for the host to connect, and I thought, oh, Jill is running late, and then all of a sudden I just dee it scared me, and we're in the middle of dictation, so it's like, okay.
Well, and maybe because I don't know, because I shut my computer on. It was on, and it kept showing that software update, and I was like, oh no, I don't want that. So I shut everything down, and then because I didn't want that thing to pop up.
Yeah.
It like takes up the whole screen. That's what it happened.
Yeah.
So no, I'm just gonna. So maybe that's why. Maybe it took a second to kind of. I don't know. Yeah, that is weird because when I first came in, there was nobody there, and I thought, well, I'll go ahead and get started because I never know.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm glad everybody got on.
Yeah, that would be me, unless somebody else is here too, and they're just not seen. So
exactly.
So, okay.
Okay. All right. Well,
proceed.
All right. So we'll go ahead and I'm going to do a second part of what we did yesterday with long A, long O, long I, long E, long U. Okay. All right. Here we go. These are long A sentences. The cave was like a grave. How do you rate your mate? Her cape was made of crepe. The vase was made of jade. He made it to second base. The ape is in the cage. Set the pace for the race. He was late for his plane. There is space by the gate. The crane came yesterday. She came on stage on time. I was dismayed at my fate. He took the rap for the rape. That was the day we came. He was then declared sane. I hate to wear that hat. Faded jeans are the fad. The shake shook the shack. Okay, long O. Rover rolled over clover. The boat is in the cove. The pole was blown over. The new show has folded. The old man had a stroke. Throw the bowling ball. I was told he was a rogue. His goal was to own one. She lives on Oak Knoll Street. He spoke about the hoax. I like my Coke to be cold. The crow has flown over. He chose that old cloak. I hope to close the deal. He spoke with a brogue. He choked on the oatmeal. The coach told him to win. Listen to the toad croak. All right, long I. He had the time of his life. She cried over her plight. He wants a pie in the sky. They glided over the line. His rifle is at his side. He tried to win the fight. Fix a pint of iced tea. Don't gripe about the hike. Will the prime rate rise? They are signs of the times. The child liked fried clams. The flight frightened me. The driver side-swiped me. He glided over the line. The spiced wine is sublime. Slide and win the prize. The Bible isn't on trial. Use your guile to hide it. All right, long E. My Jeep was deep in the mud. Geese are in the field. Have you seen the beeper? Get the feel of the wheel. Use my new reel next week. It is a seed of freedom. Peel off the cheese rind. We met freedom with glee. Heed the screech of the brakes. Have cheese with the beer. Teens imitate their peers. I am not keen on beef. Please stop the bleeding. The queen is a mere child. Put beef in the freezer. I seem to need some help. Have you seen the sheet? All right, last group is going to be long U words. Okay, here we go. The recluse was a pursuit. He couldn't refute the truth. The tourist came from Yuma. Where is the music studio? The stew was all consumed. He cured the acute attack. The consumers were duped. I assume you will reduce. The fresh fruit lured him. It polluted the pure air. They sued the nudist camp. It is cruel to exclude him. I can't endure the perfume. The plural sac has fluid. Paint a mural of Bermuda. Attribute the rumor to Sue. There has been human usage. All right.
But I find myself more on top of it this morning than I did yesterday afternoon. Big time.
Good. And it just goes to show how we have our day, like our off days, but it doesn't matter. Even if you're writing everything, like you're having a rough day and you have a lot of mistakes, you're still practicing. So then, you're going to have the next day is probably going to be back on track. And so it's not in vain. I remember hearing that from one of my instructors, because I remember thinking, why do some days feel so off and then other days are so fun? And she said, she always went back to running or training for a marathon. She said, it's just like that. If you're running and you have an off day, you still got your workout in, even though you felt terrible.
Yeah.
I always think about that.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah. My daughter always trains for marathons, and she talks about that all the time. Like, oh, I had a terrible run day, and then, another day will be great. And it makes sense, you still got your workout in.
Yeah.
So, okay. So I brought another sheet of, common briefs. And then I'm going to read the sentences with them. Oh, and I found all of the consonant compounds. Yeah. I'm so went through my book. Yeah, I know. I was so excited. So we've got to do. All right. So here are the briefs. Just stop me if there's one you don't know. Okay. All right. So we have corporation, cooperation, counsel, custody.
What's custody? Is
Well,
that
I write
K-U-D-Z?
Yes, they have
Okay.
K-U-D-Z. I write K-U-D, but they have it in here as K-U-D-Z.
Okay.
Yep. Damage, defend, defense, describe, description, determine, differential. Now they have that as DIF and then just come back for SHL.
Okay.
Okay, and that's what I would do. Dining room, do you know? Do you recall? Do you remember? Emergency, envelope, error, etc., experiment.
Experiment.
Okay, yeah, so there's two ways. I do initial X, final MT. They have it as X, long ERMT. So you have a choice there. Either X, long ERMT, or just X, final MT.
I'm sorry, the X-A long E-R-T?
Yep. X, long ERMT.
O-R-M-T.
Yeah, AOERMT.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's experiment.
Yep. And I just do XMT.
Okay.
Okay. Then there's evidence. Evident. For example, had been, have been, has been, hospital, how long, husband, I couldn't,
Oh, poor baby.
He wants in the office. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I was hoping you wouldn't hear
That's
that.
okay.
But the
No,
storm's
you hear my
calling.
bird and everything.
Oh,
So.
I'm gonna have to like lock him in my room because he's right outside the door crying.
Well, let him in.
Well, yeah, but then you'll hear he'll be walking around knocking into things. He's not
That
very
doesn't
great.
bother me.
Oh, if he doesn't stop, I will. Oh, I can't. Idea. Identify. Identification. I didn't. Oh yeah, identification.
Now, I do. I have to think about identify because for identification, I just do ID. That's all that I do. And then
Okay.
I think identify just put FI
Yep.
or F long I or anyway. So
Yeah.
I
Identify
didn't.
as F long I.
And I didn't is YID, right?
I didn't, just YI.
Oh, YI. I've got to get used to those. Those bug me. Anyway,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, and those are awesome. I don't. YO.
Right.
Okay. Ill. Inventory, which is TOIR. Imagine. Inconsiderate. Inquire.
What do you have for inquire?
Inquire is KW long IR, or you could do KW short IR, but then just don't get it mixed up with require. Require is RIR.
Oh, okay. I need to write these down because, okay, so inquire, I
Yep.
do have, okay. I need a new
Inquire,
page.
I write that with a long I, KW long IR. And then require,
It's just RIR.
RIR. Yeah.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, because I've always wondered about that.
Yeah.
Oops. Okay.
Yeah, and I think people get those mixed up sometimes. So because they're so close. All right, so here are your sentences. Okay, here we go. We really need your cooperation. The two men made a corporation. She was the counsel for the case. His father fought for custody. There was little damage to her car. He tried to defend her honor. It was a good defense. How would you describe her? The description didn't match. The judge will determine the sentence. The rear differential was cracked. We sat in the dining room. Do you know how to dance? Do you recall his last name? Do you remember this song? It was an emergency. I need an envelope. Jan made an error. We own cats, dogs, mice, etc. I want to try an experiment. Please submit this for evidence. It is evident he has no clue. For example, she has no paint. He had been in pain. She has been sick. I have been sick. Which way is the hospital? How long is this game? Uh-uh, I don't want any. He will be my husband soon. And then I didn't see this one. This is how far, Houf. How far did you go? I couldn't eat another bite. I can't go with you tonight. The idea is new. She could not she could not identify the man. I forgot my identification card. I didn't do it. I don't like mushrooms. Their sweetness made me ill. I have to count the inventory.
What was inventory again?
That one is TOIR. Now, I've heard of some people writing it as TOR, but you just have to be careful. Don't get it confused with Tor, T long OR.
Okay.
Can you imagine that? John is so inconsiderate. I will inquire about it later. All right. Oh, I was going to go, let's see, I saw something. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. I also know that some students write experiment as X, not a long E, just XERMT. I don't know why you have to use a long E. I mean, I know I do it X final MT, but I know other people have said, oh, I just do it as XERMT, and that way you don't have to do the long E. I don't think it's going to conflict with anything.
Probably not. I don't know. I try and do mine as it sounds. So I would probably do the long E.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what I still hesitate with, and I really should like do it one way or another, are the DE words and RE words. You know what I mean? Like, well, remark is a brief, but like detail or something. It's like sometimes I do it long E, sometimes I do it, I'll do D, long E, and then come back for tail. And I don't know, I guess I could put it in my dictionary both ways,
Yes. You would want to,
but it bugs me because
yeah,
I'm inconsistent with it, and
like Linda says though, if you write it both ways, put it in there both ways. That way your dictionary doesn't think it's did he tell, or tell, did he tell, So definitely
that's true.
And that way, no matter what, it's not going to come up as did he.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, okay. All right. So I found, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So all of those things that you had said, I found them in 4 different paragraphs, which is good. Like,
oh, cool.
Lessons. Yeah. And it has other things with it. So it's kind of nice. Like other words that it emphasizes. Okay. So the first one is going to emphasize initial SK, initial SL, final RNL, final FMT. So, and then we're going to cover all of them. Okay. I'm just dating this. All right. So here are your sentences. He skimmed the floor while skating. The skirt was in the designer's sketch. We skipped skillfully down the street. The ski jump requires skill. She scalded her skin. The skeleton of the skunk was found. We rode in the sleek sleigh down the slope. The fish was slippery and slimy. We didn't sleep at the slumber party. The slow slug slid across the sidewalk. There was a slit in the sleeve. Did you slip in the slush? The kernel belongs to a fraternal order. Nocturnal sounds were recorded in the audio journal. We found a kernel of corn. Carnal sins are wrong. The movement of the earthquake caused the pavement to crack. His bereavement is apparent. His depravement is obviously, OFL, a problem. Okay, now moving on to SW. And then it also includes final FRG, final GS. Okay, here we go. The swallows cut a swath through the clouds. Two swans swam in the lake. Tom used the sword to swipe at Ray. He swung his sweetheart in the swing. The sweets are swell. He swerved to avoid the swarm of bees. They were referring to the covering on the cot. She was wavering before offering him a position with the firm. Mark was hovering over his wife when she was suffering. He was preferring the deferring of the payment until June. She is favoring your viewpoint. We were savoring the aromas. The dogs tore the bags into rags. When he digs, he finds bugs. The plugs and the pegs were loose. 2 hogs and 3 pigs are in the pen. He tugs and he lugs on the cargo. The price tags were on the wigs. All right, now moving into SKR, initial SKR. It also has final MS, final NKS. Here we go. He carefully scrutinized the script. She screamed when she scraped her knee. Tad scribbled on the screen. The scribes wrote a note on the scratch pad. His Scrabble board is scratched. The scroll was held in place with a screw. The book of poems contains the rhymes. Where are the names of the dames? The beams in the rooms of the house are painted white. Cal seems to have dreams every night. The programs include games and mimes. How many times a day do the chimes ring? He honks and winks at the girls. Lynn ranks the banks at the top. The punks were sleeping in the bunks. 2 tanks were placed on the planks. The minks were stored in the trunks. She dunks the flax and it sinks to the bottom. Okay.
Well, that was fun.
Was that a good one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that one.
I did too. I definitely put a happy face on that one. I like that it has the final NK as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's always good practice. Okay, so this one is going to focus on initial SN, initial SKW, final PLS, final RMD. All right, here we go. The snake was snoozing in the sun. We sneaked into the snazzy restaurant. The dog snarled and snapped at the stranger. We were snuggling in the snow. D is snobby and snotty. A snort came from his snout. The squad car squeezed through traffic. The squire is a square. He squirted water and then squashed the bug. The people's plan cripples the economy. Some apples are green. The staples are in the drawer. She was alarmed when he harmed her son. Les confirmed and affirmed the rumor. We formed and firmed up our plans for our summer vacation. He was termed by the doctor as deformed. Luke warmed the milk for the baby. Sue was armed when she performed the robbery. All right. Did those help?
Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
Awesome.
Can I ask you something really quick?
Yes.
And
Oh,
now
yeah.
it makes more sense. I actually was coming home from a walk the other night and I tried calling you, but I think you had your phone off because you were on vacation. And I talked to Nora.
We do
but,
not get service up there. It's that I think I told you we have T-Mobile now.
Oh, yeah, so do I.
Okay, once you hit Bishop, which is still it's still probably another 3 hours from Bishop. Once we hit Bishop, we get no service. None.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Well,
I want to go back to Verizon.
Verizon's so expensive.
It is. That's why we went to T-Mobile. Unless there's another one out there that's just as good as Verizon.
Yeah.
If you know of one, let me know. But we're not really crazy about T-Mobile.
Okay. Well, and so finger drills where you usually do sets of 4. You know what I'm saying, on either the initial side or the final side. Those are meant to be done all at once, right? Like 4 letters at a time, not, darn it. Okay.
Yeah.
I hate those. I hate them. Anyway, yeah, that's what Nora thought too. And I'm going,
Yeah.
and now that I sit here thinking about it, it's like, duh.
Yeah, but you
But
wouldn't know. Maybe you thought it was just like, you go
yeah,
SAWR, STPH, you know what I mean? You wouldn't. Well, I
yeah.
have to say, there was a student back at Sage that was stuck in qualifying, and he was having a hard time qualifying. And he bought that finger drill book,
Hmm.
and he said he worked on that for a couple of weeks, and he qualified. And he swore that,
Wow.
and he said he was terrible at that finger drill book, but that always stuck in my head because he swore that that's what helped him to qualify, was that book. So
Huh.
even though you feel like it's tough, if you've got it, use it.
I don't. I just have like some papers with finger drills on it. And
Yeah,
I hate them because you have to go out of your comfort zone.
I know. I know. It's like
I don't
that
want to
thing.
go out of my comfort zone.
Yeah, it's like, you want my fingers to do what?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So anyway,
I'll
okay.
have to see if I know they've got to be on sale somewhere. You know what I mean? I never got one,
Hmm.
but I know that, and then it's kind of funny because after he said that, a couple of other students bought that book,
Hmm.
and then they weren't all in qualifying, but they said the same thing, like it really helped them to get to the
Yeah.
next. So I think it's all the finger dexterity.
Yeah. Yep. You're
Yeah.
right.
So, okay, well, I'm going to read you some literary. Let me give you a word list. You're going to hear aggressive, humble, sympathy, zest, merited, ways and means, coastal, sorry,
That's okay.
equal rights, civil rights, representatives, environment, progressive, delegation, Washington, Seattle, Hawthorne, Calvin, Theodore. All right. So this is a congressional record.
Ugh.
All right. I'll read this at 60 because it is more challenging. Okay. And then I'll
I
read the,
appreciate that.
yeah, I know this is a little bit more, I think it is. I think literary is always more challenging than jury charge. All right. Here we go. Mr. Speaker, last Tuesday, at the age of 89, one of our former colleagues, who was a strong and determined man, passed away. Calvin Theodore Ted Hawthorne of Seattle, Washington, will be long remembered in these chambers. Ted served as a member of the House of Representatives for more than a quarter of a century. He presided as chairman of the House and Ways, or let me say that again, House Ways and Means Committee. He introduced progressive civil rights legislation. He supported the Equal Rights Amendment, and he worked closely with the governor of the state of Washington to protect the coastal environment. When I first came to the house, Ted was one of the first persons that I met. He encouraged me to speak out on issues that made my blood boil. He enlisted my advice and aid on several of his pet projects. He wasn't content to sit and watch. He was aggressive, yet a good listener. Ted Hawthorne never lost his zest for living. After his retirement from the House in 2007, his political life did not stop. Ted ran for the office of city council member in Seattle. Although he was defeated on election night, he offered his full services to the victor. Since Ted's passing, I have realized how important it is to recognize the special needs of all groups. Sometimes we are so caught up in our own problems and strategies that we overlook the needs of others whose attention is merited. Indeed, we will miss Calvin Theodore Hawthorne, but we will remember his contributions to the state of Washington and to the American people. On behalf of the members of the state of Washington delegation, I would like to extend our sincere sympathy to the family of Calvin Theodore Hawthorne. All right, how are we doing? Okay, I'm
Let
gonna.
him in.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry.
Don't apologize.
Here. This is what I did. I opened up my back door so he can go outside in the backyard.
Oh.
So that'll make him even more happy. Stinker. I think he has anxiety issues. Like he wants to be right by you. I think he probably wonders like, why am I not with my mom?
Yeah, that's true. Poor Kane.
Why am I here with you? The first few days were fun, and now I want to go home.
It's like being with grandma, but you want mom.
Yes. Okay, I'm ready to go home now. All right, so I have some jury instructions. So let me give you a word list. You're going to hear violent, penal code, assault, historical, hypothetically, England, sword, legislative,
You're
academic.
killing me.
I know. academic, trier, knife. Let's see. You're going to hear a size.
What's a size?
A size like the right time. Like, let's see, how do they have it here? If it wasn't a size time, I would run you through. So like if it wasn't, well, it's spelled ASSIZE. So if it wasn't a size time, like running out of time.
ASIZE?
No.
ASSIZE.
Yep.
I've never heard that.
ASSIZE. If it wasn't a size time, I would run you through it.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. Now you're going to hear if you have, you can phrase that whole thing. Is that you? You can phrase that STHAU.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, final FK. When I was, you could phrase that whole thing WHIFS. In other words, nerds, or you can leave out the E. Okay. All right. You're going to hear trier of fact, which I write out. All right.
Okay.
So I'm gonna read this at 80. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. The jury has returned in response to the question from the foreman in considering the definition of assault with intent to commit murder. We will clarify wrongful act and attempt was unlawful. I am going to read to you the legislative definition of assault from the Penal Code. The Bar Review Committee has included some other words that probably created some of this confusion. Assault is an unlawful attempt coupled with a present ability to commit a violent injury upon the person of another. You can see in the printed instructions that were submitted to the jury and are made available to the jury during their deliberations, we have added to commit a wrongful act by means of physical force instead of to commit a violent injury. When you have an assault, what it really means is that you intend to strike, hit, shoot, or knife another person. In other words, you intend to commit a battery. I am not getting too historical or academic in my next comment, hopefully. But one of the cases that most law students read, at least, I read it back in the late 90s when I was attending law school, is a case from England. This is a case, I guess, every law student has read, which I didn't ask counsel if they were covered or not, but I am sure they have. It says, if it wasn't assize time, I would run you through where a man has a sword against the stomach of another. In that particular season, he is not going to commit a violent injury upon another person. So the question is whether this is an attempt or not. Well, it was not an attempt because he didn't intend to commit a battery. Now, the law is that you have to have an unlawful attempt. This means an attempt that is unjustified under the law. And of course, an unlawful attempt could be a wrongful act by means of physical force. So, in speaking, hypothetically, if you have an unjustified striking of another person, say, not in the actual defense of yourself or in actual defense of another person, then it would be considered unlawful. It is unjustified, but you can have such conduct where it is not considered unlawful under the laws of the state. These are determinations for the trier of fact to make under the evidence that is presented.
Hey,
So
it wasn't too bad.
Good. See, I didn't think so. Sometimes when I give you the word list, it's like, ooh, but then it's not too bad. I looked up a size. So this is what it says. A court that formally sat at intervals in each county of England and Wales to administer the civil and criminal law. It says in 1972, the civil jurisdiction of assizes was transferred to the High Court and the criminal jurisdiction to the Crown Court. Oh, and it says here, usually assizes is a trial session, civil or criminal, held in specific locations in England.
Yeah, probably not going to hear that one too often.
No. And I always thought when I read this, if it wasn't assize time, I kind of thought that meant like
a good time or something. Yes, yeah.
Right. So I was not right on that. So I'm glad I looked it up. All right. So let me give you some Q&A. This is going to be just a one page that we'll start off with, and this is going to be plaintiff. And again, you're going to hear vehicle, pickup truck, puck, and you can choose which one you want to flag. Mr. Warren, Mr. Morris, period of time, initial P, final FT, approximately, render, assistance, function. That's about it for this one. Oh, backup unit. Okay. And this is going to be plaintiff. And I'm going to read this once at, I'll read this at 80. Okay. All right, here we go. When you stopped this vehicle, did the police unit stop in back of it or alongside of it or in front of it, or how? In back of it. Did you and Mr. Morris both leave the police vehicle? Yes, sir, we did. Did you have your guns drawn? Yes, sir, I did. Did Mr. Morris go to one side and you go to the other side of the pickup truck? No, sir. Did you order Mr. Warren out of the truck? Yes, sir. Now, when Mr. Warren was ordered out of the truck, tell us how he got out of his vehicle. He got out of his vehicle with his hands in front of him, with his hands extended. They were extended upward at about a 45-degree angle. I would estimate. Palms downward? Yes, sir. Approximately what period of time elapsed from the time of the call until the arrival of the backup unit? The backup unit arrived, I would say, approximately 2 minutes after we stopped Mr. Warren in his vehicle. And that backup unit, the function of the officers in the unit would be to take care of the vehicle. Is that correct? Yes, sir. And render any assistance that we might need. What time of night was this approximately? It would have been approximately 11:50. Are you sure it was 11:50? Well, I looked at my watch. Okay. Would you like me to read that again at 100?
Sure.
Okay. All right, here we go. When you stopped this vehicle, did the police unit stop in back of it, or alongside of it, or in front of it, or how? In back of it. Did you and Mr. Morris both leave the police vehicle? Yes, sir, we did. Did you have your guns drawn? Yes, sir, I did. Did Mr. Morris go to one side and you go to the other side of the pickup truck? No, sir. Did you order Mr. Warren out of the truck? Yes, sir. Now, when Mr. Warren was ordered out of the truck, tell us how he got out of his vehicle. He got out of his vehicle with his hands in front of him, with his hands extended. They were extended upward at about a 45-degree angle, I would estimate. Palms downward? Yes, sir. Approximately what period of time elapsed from the time of the call until the arrival of the backup unit? The backup unit arrived, I would say, approximately 2 minutes after we stopped Mr. Warren in his vehicle. And that backup unit, the function of the officers in the unit would be to take care of the vehicle. Is that correct? Yes, sir. And render any assistance that we might need. What time of night was this approximately? It would have been approximately 11:50. Are you sure it was 11:50? Well, I looked at my watch. How was that?
Pretty good.
Good. Good. I have if you're okay with staying just a little bit over, I have another one that I could read.
Please.
Okay, so this one, I think what I'll do is start it. It's 2 pages, so I think I'll start this at 80, and then on the first page and second page, I'll read it at 100.
Okay.
Okay. All right, here we go. Again, this is plaintiff, but defense does jump in. Okay.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Did he then proceed to search the car? No, he didn't. Did someone else search the car? No. While you were in the area, was the car searched? Yes, it was. By whom? Senior Deputy Arlen. Were you present and watching him at the time? Yes. Did you observe him find a .22 caliber pistol in the car? No. Did you observe him find a bag of marijuana in the car? No. Did you observe him appear to find what appeared to be a .22 caliber pistol? No. Did you observe him to find what appeared to be a bag of marijuana? No. Did you observe him find what appeared to be a bag of white powder? No. Do you know what was found in the car? I was told by Officer Arlen what was recovered. What did he tell you? He told me he recovered a handgun and a bag of white powder. Anything else? That is all he said at that time. He didn't mention marijuana? No. When did he tell you he found those items in the car? Right after he searched it, which was along the side of the road? Yes. Did he show you the items to you? No. Was anyone else present and observing while he was searched? Other deputies from the sheriff's department. Anyone else? Not anyone that could see. Who else was present, regardless of whether or not they could see? Ralph Baxter. Was there anyone else? William Johnson. Was there anyone else? No. When did you meet Mr. Johnson for the first time? I met him in about June, I believe. Who introduced you to him? I met him at a motorcycle race. Was anyone with you At the time? No. Was anyone with him at the time? His sister, I believe. What's her name? All I know is her first name. I don't know her last name. What's her first name? Patricia. Is she married as far as you know? She is divorced or separated. Do you know where Mr. Johnson lives? No, I don't. Do you know where he works? No, I don't. Did you ever know where he lived or worked? Yes. Do you recall where that was? I don't know the address. It was a dirt road. Do you have anything to which you might refer to refresh your memory as to Mr. Johnson's last known address? No, I don't. When did you last see Mr. Johnson? January 25, I guess. I may have seen him, but I haven't spoken with him. How was that?
Okay.
Good. Sometimes I think it might be a little more challenging because it's quick, like back and forth Q&A. And when we count our words, we don't count sign changes.
Mm-hmm.
So even though you're doing something on your machine, it's not really counted as in the word count. You know what I mean?
Right.
Kind of like when you get multisyllabic words, that's still considered one, even though you've just had to, write a four-stroke word. So
Right.
take all that into consideration. But did you remember the brief for marijuana, Marn?
Oh yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
That one's easy. Heroin's easy. And I think most people use carn for cocaine.
Oh,
I
okay.
use cane. I just do K long AN for
That's
cocaine.
a good one.
And then I flag like a cane that somebody would use to walk.
Yeah, because cocaine's going to come up a lot more than a cane.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Yeah.
Did you see Robert's announcement that we're going to start theory?
Yeah.
Exciting, huh?
Is it just going to be NCRS theory?
Yes.
Yeah, kind of figured.
Yep. And we'll have handouts. Nobody will have to, it's going to be based off that, but different, there'll be different material and the students will just print off their handouts.
Well, maybe I'll take those classes.
Yeah.
It's just like practicing theory.
Oh, yeah.
So
it's just
yeah.
gonna enforce it. Yep.
Yeah.
We'll start with theory 1 and just work our way through, and then theory 2, and
Yep.
So you absolutely can watch that. Yeah. Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah. So exciting stuff, So, well, how are you feeling? Are you feeling like you're kind of getting back in? Like, if you had to guess, what do you think you're writing at? Like, what speed do you think you could pass if you took a test? And not talking about like perfect notes, like figuring out what it is. And
I could probably do 100. There might be a few drops in there, and I'm gonna try and make it to the 120, the mid speeds class tonight, but it might be difficult. I don't know, but because I know that it helps to push.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just a matter of doing it. I think it really helps to be in a live class.
Yes.
I don't know why. I just like that more so than what you guys have recorded on here. I just like the live so much better. I don't know what it is.
No, I agree. I'd be the same way, because then you can stop and say, hey, how do you write that? Or where in a recorded class, you can't, you don't have that interaction.
Right.
So I agree.
Yep.
Well, if you're feeling good with hundreds, think about just start pushing the mid speeds. And even if you have to watch the recorded class, the time will be tonight and then tomorrow morning at 9.
Yeah, I have to work tomorrow morning,
Okay.
so
Okay.
yeah, I can't do Wednesday mornings
Okay.
unless I trade or something,
Yeah.
but
No, no.
I
Well,
usually don't do that. So
okay. Okay. Well, just, if you can't watch the live, try to get in the recording because that will help your speed. And if you want, transcribe a test and then I can grade it and see
yeah,
what you do, you know?
yeah, you were saying that last week, and I'll get to it.
Okay. Let me know if
Yeah.
you want to do it. So,
Keep on me, Jill.
okay, I will.
I wish more people would show up for the live
I do
classes,
too. I do too.
So I'll
But
start off slow,
yes.
but look at everything that's, you know, Platinum Steno hasn't even been around for a year, and you've already gone from what it started as. Now you're offering live classes. Now you're going to have theory. It's really just a matter of time before you start getting into like transcription
Right.
and everything else.
Right.
It'll happen.
Yeah, it will.
So
It will.
yeah,
It's like
yep,
a progression. Yep.
yep,
That's right. I know I'm so excited that he's going to be offering theory.
yeah,
So,
definitely.
all right. Well, you have a great day. And then
You
hope maybe
too.
I'll see you this evening. Even
Yep,
if you have to come in late or leave early, whatever, just come in and
yeah.
do what you can.
Okay.
Okay. All
All
right.
right, Jill.
Have a
Thank
great day.
you.
Thank you. Bye.
Go let Hank in now
Yes,
and
I
give him
left the
some
door
love.
open, so I know I worry about the coyotes. So next time I'll put him in my room because it's upstairs. My office
Yeah.
is downstairs, my room is upstairs. So then that way you won't
Oh,
hear him at the door.
he's so sweet though.
He's a little ornery guy. He's just insecure, I think, because he's not with his mom. So
Oh,
I know. So all right, well, you have a great day, and then I hope to
you
see you
too.
tonight. Okay.
Okay, sounds
Okay.
good. Thanks,
Bye,
Jill.
Kendra. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.